if Delgado is going to try to kill Marco and certainly not succeed at killing Marco, it presupposes he's going to die in the attempt. So anyway, I think there's still a chance that my matting is on board, baby. All right, anyway. Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We are here talking about The Expanse. Season 5, Episode 9, the penultimate episode of the season, Winnipesaukee. I've been on one of the islands of Winnipesaukee, and unfortunately, it did not have a suborbital shuttle on it, so I was on the wrong island, apparently.
It was not like they were out in the open.
Yeah, good point. It was probably there the whole time, behind the tree. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I look behind the tree? That'd be cool.
People always forget to look there.
Look behind the tree. We open with Marco, Holden, and Bobby and Alex all receiving and interpreting Naomi's "I am in control" message.
Yep.
Marco's upset. Holden increases speed despite Bull's protest. He's not like, you can't do it, but he's like, we're going to lose fuel. And we learn that Bobby and Alex are going to get there first. They're going to arrive at the Chetsamoka first.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, Bobby does some good detective work. She could have a good theory crafting YouTube channel because she kind of pieces together a lot of stuff. Well, maybe she can't respond to us. And, what if she's incapacitated? Or what if, all right, well done, Bobby. And then we end with Naomi charging up a view screen. She sees Alex and Bobby that are en route. She already knew that because they'd already audio told her, like, we're coming. But she sees it, and she also sees, like, the detonation radius around the ship.
The sensor radius probably for us, like, oh, here they come.
Well, so she gets an idea. She suits up again, and we hear her banging on the ship, like, off screen. I'm assuming that she's collecting ice from the pipes like we saw her do earlier in this episode. Before we launch into other stuff, what do we think she's doing here? She clings on the pipes. Let's assume she's collecting ice. What's her,
I mean, at some point she, drinks what little she has, so.
Yeah, this time I don't think she's doing it for drinking water. I think she's doing it in some way to get them out of the trap, to save her friends.
Okay. What do you think?
Well, I think she's, much like Matt Damon in The Martian, we talked about it, she's going to suck the shit out of it. So I think somehow she's collecting water, not to drink, but to use as a tool. And I don't know what, water's a conductor. Maybe she's going to try to short out the circuits. That seems a little too easy. You mentioned last week that maybe to defeat this trap, she's going to use the suit she's got. With sans oxygen and just kind of go out and then hope that Alex and Bobby can save her before she runs out of air.
Yeah, looking at that diagram though, I'm wondering if she has a lot of time to inject herself in a manner that's like, okay, now I'm getting past the point where it would key up the sensors that would cause it to explode,
So maybe, follow me on this. But maybe she's a science person. So yes. I wouldn't be able to do this.
No.
But, Naomi is up here. I'm down here in science.
That's true. She's smart. She's the smartest person.
Well, water. It's hydrogen and oxygen, baby. She finds a way to extract the oxygen from the water. Maybe she gives herself more time in the suit. Maybe.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know. Does she have a
cool.
giant lab where she can work it out? I'm like, hey, cool. Thank goodness I have these test tubes. I'm going to titrate a sample. I don't know. Anyway. I don't know. But I think the water is somehow going to be used as a tool to save her and Bobby and Alex. But that's my thought. So before we launch on other stuff, your thoughts, good sir, on this episode?
I quite liked it a lot. I liked the scenes on Earth where they're trying to figure out how to fix the ship. I like that.
Gotcha. Amos and Peaches and Eric.
Yeah. And they're just, good characters, so it's good to see, them in a situation where they have to figure things out, and they end up learning stuff about themselves. Eric comes around to Peaches once she's killed a few people.
Yeah, it's like, oh, she's actually very capable in a fight. Very good. Welcome to the crew.
Yeah.
We get the feeling that she has kind of legitimately turned a new leaf, right? I mean, she's trying to be a good person.
The way she's framed in the past, right, is doing good things despite not being maybe a good person.
Right.
So she doesn't think she's a good person, but she's trying to.
Right. She's trying to act like a good person.
Yeah.
And hence, in doing so, be a good person.
And espousing this sort of idea of really what you want society to be. Which is
inclusion.
Inclusion. Looking
grow
out for
the
each
tribes.
other and, yeah.
Now there would have been a limit to the number of people they could have taken.
Yeah.
When they're like, wait, we can't take, but that limit had not been reached. Yes, she is in some ways keeping Amos honest as well, right? Like he's being forced to, he's making choices based on her that he wouldn't have made otherwise. There's a few moments where she makes the decision to be like, hey, you guys can join us. And then he's like, okay. And like, hey, we shouldn't, don't just shoot these people because they showed up and are intimidating us. They're going to be back, but okay, we're not going to. And so she's kind of she's his Jiminy Cricket on his shoulder at the moment, I feel like, in the moment.
Oh, okay.
Which is why he talked about last episode, or I forgot, a couple episodes back. He was like, I need to get back to my ship, and I think part of that was I need to get back to my conscience, and I feel like she's in some ways playing a proxy role of his conscience until he can get back to the Rossi, maybe. Yeah,
that might be a theme they're playing on.
But yeah, cool action sequence as well. Obviously, there's a lot of it's tense as they try to take off before they all get mowed down. A lot of them do get mowed down. A lot of if they were wearing red shirts, it would have been more appropriate. But oh my God, it's red! Oh, what am I? And then Eric just fries them all. That was an interesting point too. It was like, please close the blast. Screw that! Just wipes out a whole bunch of folks and the landing.
Wait till you're clear because you don't want to damage them. We're leaving.
We're never coming back. Which is a good point. We had that shot of Amos looking through the glass at Earth as he's leaving, and I got the feeling like that was I'm never coming back. Like I'm looking at Earth for the last time.
It could be.
So long, Earth, kind of thing about it.
I mean, he sort of went on a journey, really, to reconnect with his past.
Right.
You may think you're moving on, but you're not really. He's the one who said that.
He says that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the one who said you're not really moving on.
You're a summation of your past experiences. Yeah. So it's kind of a fitting end to that arc. I'm not even sure necessarily what else is there for him to do in episode 10 other than somehow
get back to the group. Yeah.
Get back to the group, or maybe the group comes back to him.
There might not be nearly enough time for that.
Yeah. He's going to get to the moon.
One thing he can do is go, hook up with or reconnect with Avasarala.
Correct. I think that's what we're talking about. And maybe try to get some kind of clearance for Peaches, right? Because she's still technically I assume, a fugitive, or she's going to be like, hey, we got to put you back in jail. So maybe he can get some kind of special dispensation for her because he knows high up people or something.
I would expect they were just trying to keep her hidden. Eric is someone who can make false IDs.
That's true.
That's what he did for.
In fact, they take note of that in this episode. They're like, "Oh, you do what? You do what now? You can make false fake IDs? Oh,
yeah."
So, welcome, Joan. Speaking of Avasarala, we might as well we'll wrap up that end of the storyline as well. Yeah. So she realizes that behind her back, was it the UN General Pastor, I think is his name, went ahead and directed an attack on Palace Station, killed a whole bunch of innocent folks. She's in the meeting, she objects, they're like, blah, 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 let's hit a bigger target. And so they're going to go attack Siri Station, and Delgado's all on board, and so she's like, I resign, I'm out. Yep. And a lot of other people resign as well. They're like, we're not going to murder a whole bunch of kids. This is terrible. And so that leads to basically a coup
Yeah.
And so.
Well, I mean, he's.
not a violent coup, but.
Well, it's not even. I mean, yes, I guess you could say a functional coup, but like he's only has that position of power because of circumstance. Yeah. So it wasn't like he was originally voted into that position. And so, they have a vote of no confidence for him, and put Avasarala there, which is an interesting way to put her in a situation that she wouldn't have created for herself. So it's like, before you take charge, we'd like to kill a whole bunch of people and escalate the war.
Right.
Now you're in charge.
Now you're in charge. Take it. Take this ball that's deflated.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with this?
It's like, here you are. I know you didn't order this shit sandwich, but enjoy.
Delicious. So she inherits a burgeoning war with the Belt. And perhaps Mars, as we've seen, because Mars seems to be working in tandem with the Belt at this moment. And so we might as well talk then about Delgado.
So are you still thinking that Delgado...
I do.
Because it looks...
I was
perhaps they had a drink and just agreed that he's going to go off and be one of the people that's going to...
Sure, perhaps, but perhaps not. So, obviously, earlier in the season, he was my matting. He was the guy who was like, Delgado. And so, after last episode, after episode 8, I was kind of like, boy, I don't know. I'm not seeing the turnaround. I need this vehicle to turn so that Delgado can die. I think we got it. Now, first of all, I predicted that the punchline to his joke that he didn't finish might be told as he dies. As it turns out, it's kind of a farewell thing in some ways. Like he didn't say farewell by dying, but it's kind of like a so long, I'm not going to join your cabinet. But the reason he's not joining the cabinet is he's like, I signed up. I'm going to be on a strike team. I'm going to be the one to take out Marco. Okay. Now, there are a lot of candidates in this show to kill Marco. Naomi, Philip, I would say, Drummer, Holden. There's probably others. Delgado's not one of those candidates. So if Delgado is going to try to kill Marco and certainly not succeed at killing Marco, it presupposes he's going to die in the attempt. So anyway, I think there's still a chance that my matting is on board, baby. All right, anyway. Speaking of which, the punchline, I did not get the punchline right, but it's a pretty weak punchline. I think my credibility as a joke teller actually went up by not predicting the end of this joke. But the end of the joke turns out being...
I wouldn't be patting yourself too hard in the back for your punchline.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Point taken.
Don't go appearing at yuck just yet.
My jokes were awesome. No follow-up questions. We don't have to revisit them. Just know whatever you think was a good joke punchline, that's the one I did. But here's what they did. They did, so the Earther says, give me a shot of the finest belter liquor you have. The bartender says, oh, because it helps you think like your enemy? And the Earther says, no, because I'm trying to drink less, and the best the belt has to offer is terrible. All right? And he even says, well, it used to be funnier. I think
you're like, I don't know if it did.
I'm not sure that it ever was funny, but...
maybe as funny as a Polish joke.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the reason he says that line, what he says it used to be funnier, is, hey, now that Marco, representing the belt, has crippled Earth with asteroids, it's not as funny to say, hey, look, the belt sucks. Ha 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 ha, they're terrible. Oh, shit. But yeah, anyway, that was the punchline. I didn't call the punchline, so strike that one off. But I'm still in those Delgado sweepstakes. Come on, Delgado. Get out there. Follow your dreams, Delgado.
May you die in glorious battle.
That's right. That's right. So Avasarala says goodbye to her husband. Kind of a moving scene. They got all these names of missing and presumed dead people, and people are like sending their loved ones with a little message off on this giant cylinder of names.
Yes.
I'm still not convinced he's dead, frankly.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I just, it's a story. And so you kind of need a body, I feel like. But, I mean, I'll put it this way. In this context.
There's a lot of destruction on that planet.
Yes, but it's also the idea of, like, I could easily come up with a rationale for why someone could be alive but unable to communicate.
Right, but he wasn't much of a contribution to the plot before.
I got you. He's not an A-level character, but
no,
he's married to an A-level character. That gives him some cachet. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not.
The only marriage that this show likes is polygamous marriage. So.
Good point. So I would say the odds are he's dead, but I would say there's still a percentage chance that at some point.
What would it serve to have him be alive? What?
Just like a happy, like, oh look, life didn't just end for me in this moment. I can return to a relationship now with the experience of realizing how much we meant to each other because of these terrible ordeals. We were going to break up. This terrible ordeal came, and now we have each other back again to help us deal with the the outcome of this. I don't know. Yeah, no, like a hopeful thing as opposed to all is dark and terrible. But all is dark and terrible.
Yeah, all is dark and terrible.
All right.
You just had a and think about it this way. So she thinks he's dead. And she says, yes, I want vengeance too, like everyone, because my husband died. But no, let's not do it. And then, like, oh, he's alive. Oh, okay.
Well, that's a good point. If he just showed up next episode.
And everybody else is like, well, we still lost ours.
I mean, obviously her point in that was, hey, all these other people on Palace Station are thinking the same way I am, and we don't want to create that many people.
Yeah, it's a good point. But, you wouldn't want to mute that point, would you?
I'm thinking that could, if in the, let's say I'm going to go with a 13% chance that her husband's still alive.
Okay.
I would say that might even be like a season 6 thing. I was buried under a thing, and I couldn't get out, and then I got out, and then I was put on an island, and they never had power. I had amnesia. Good point. I was raised by wolves, and then, yeah, okay. All right, good point. Yeah. So on this show, he's probably dead. Maybe on a lesser show, it'd be like, hey, look, happy times are here again.
Yeah, if this was a worse show, maybe you could be writing it.
I can do a punchline. I'm writing a punchline to that joke, damn it. We have this big scene where Marco informs Philip that, in fact, Naomi is still alive.
Yes.
And he frames it as, yeah, she's still alive. She left us again.
Yes.
And Philip goes nuts. And
left us again.
Again.
The same way she left you before and me, but really you.
Now he's not completely wrong. I mean,
of course not.
Yes, she escaped, and she killed Sin in the process, and she was not trying to commit suicide. She was trying to save herself and her actual family.
Right, there you go.
So yes, but you also, I mean, obviously, when you're the villain. It's hard maybe for you to look internally and think, oh, see, because we were, endangering her life and the life of her loved ones, and we gave her very little choice. But, in the moment you're like, she just screwed us over again. Ah!
Can you believe she left this life of abuse again?
I know. It was weird how she did that. Right after we told her, oh, yeah, we're going to use your ship to lure in your friends and kill them all. Huh. Yeah. Weird. How she just took off.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta run off again.
Yeah. She doesn't want to be in a family of killers. She'd rather run off to the people who we were gonna kill.
So, they're in their cocoon of villainy at this point. But I do feel like there's got to be some moment when Philip somehow pulls away from Marco. I don't know in what. It seems like it's, as I say, too late. He backhanded his mom, so
believe that
redemption seems off the table. But at least not siding with Marco, I feel like that's a thing. Or maybe they may not have time for that in one episode, because obviously the bulk of this episode is going to be saving Naomi and Bobby and Alex.
Right.
Like that's your dun 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 dun.
Right. Yes.
Now, meanwhile, the Rocinante is in trouble. They're not. The Chetzamoka is going to explode before they get there, so they're not. Hey, awesome! Thanks, Bobby and Alex. but in the meantime,
if they had a full appreciation of what was going, maybe Bull would just knock out Holden, take over the ship, and just head in the other direction.
Yeah. Because what's happened is, now that Marco knows Naomi is likely alive and may defeat the trap, he wants to confirm that the Rocinante gets wiped out.
Yes.
So he's sent a couple of ships toward Rocinante, and he's ordered Drummer and her. I think she got 3 ships.
Strange that he's so committed to this symbolic act. It doesn't have much strategic benefit to him to kill Holden. It's all symbolic, like, oh, we killed Holden, that guy that everybody loves so much.
Well, it's also the fact that, it's Naomi's new love interest.
Yeah, but again, no strategic interest in that either.
No, but I think it's an emotional, like, screw you. So he has directed basically 5 ships to take on the Rocinante, and we've already been told, I think Bull mentions, maybe it was last episode, but he's like, we ran out of ammo pretty much after we did that little.
Well, I think he's saying he doesn't have much left, so it's not like.
Yeah, they're not completely empty.
Yeah.
But against 5 ships, it seems like that's a
they
mismatch.
don't have that many bullets.
Yeah. So they're in danger too. I can only assume the only thing that will save them would be Drummer, right? Drummer's going to have to make a choice. She's being pushed really far now.
Oh, yeah.
And she brings it up. She's like, look, Marco killed Ash. I didn't do anything. She's not, at this point, she doesn't realize that Naomi's still alive. She's like, killed a person I love? Naomi? Okay, fine. Now I'm being asked to kill her friends and my friends. And, how far do I get pushed? And I think the answer is that far. Because I feel like she's going to, either on her own, or she's going to convince her family unit Right,
it's hard to believe that she could convince the family, because really that means they just decide that one husband that's on Marco's ship would just have to die.
Right. And as they've said, I'm forgetting her name, but the woman that has a conversation with Drummer, and she says, like, hey, do you love us
Oksana.
as much as Oksana, do you love us as much as you love?
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, but the implication of that is also because we don't. like we don't love them as much as we love us. So let's all work together and screw over the right people, please. So I do feel like Drummer is going to somehow turn against Marco in this moment, and how who has to die because of that? Yeah, you're right.
Besides Corral, yeah.
There's so we'll see how that works, but I think that's how that gets resolved. Is Drummer saves the Rocinante, Naomi saves Bobby and Alex, and Amos ends up on Luna, and probably after everybody's saved, maybe they head back to Luna. Maybe we have a cut in time and they're all back together. But
they've put Naomi in an interesting position, so it'll be interesting to see how she resolves this. In hearing some of the passages that you don't get from the book, that you get from her thought processes, basically, it really seems as if she's willing to die to save the lives of her friends. She doesn't have much faith and confidence that she'll survive, and she would consider it worth it. I think you're probably right that she has plot armor on her. It would be interesting if they chose that, but I don't. That would be a break from the books. I know she survives.
I mean, the only person that in this situation that doesn't have plot armor but I don't
Is
think it
Delgado?
was too late. Is Alex, right? I mean, he's not on the show now, but apparently they'd done all their filming before all this stuff, so they'd have to have
they could
done some re-editing.
Have him blow up in this.
I mean, they certainly wouldn't have brought him back to do this.
You know, a scene where Bobby like wakes up like, what? He knocked me out, and then like some suit goes out, some space
right there you go
to save.
Right, like in other words, yeah. You just see it from Naomi's point of view. She takes the suit off of someone in space, and then he's like, thanks so much, Alex. Oh, you were the best always. No need to look at you I can't look. So I don't think they had time to do it. Let's put it that way. No. I think everybody survives the encounter.
They are getting pretty creative. We don't know.
Right. There's a will, there's a way. If they really were
exactly, yes.
So we'll see, but I think I think all of our leads will survive for season 6.
All right.
So anyway, we'll be back talking about episode 10.
Yes.
And we're also talking about WandaVision. So come on back for that.
That's right.
Thank you, Paul. As always, good sir. And we'll talk to you all next time. Bye.
Okay, bye.